think it's going to happen to you, so you're not expecting it. But when a bike comes rolling at you and you know you can't stop it, there's a moment there you think, this is it, you know, it's all over. My name's Andrew Hurst. We're farming here at the foot of the Mount Dobson ski field. It's 2,300 hectares of tussock country. It runs from flats down by the road up into alpine. It's rough terrain, it's busy. I'm on my own pretty much here running it. We've got casual staff at peak times, but basically it's just me. I want to get home to my wife and kids obviously, but I just can't afford to get hurt. I mean, this is a tussock country property. It's rough, it's steep, there's hills, there's creeks, there's holes, there's rocks, there's scrub. You've got to be careful where you go. You know, I haven't had a problem going around the side of a hill on a four-wheeler because you are looking for obstacles, you're going slowly, you're picking your route. It's when you're on the flat, as I've had the trouble with, is when you're not expecting something. You don't go out thinking you're going to roll a bike, well, no one does, but it's just accidents happen. We were mustering this block, cows and calves, calf marking. I pushed a mob through here. It had a couple of bulls in it, and I pushed them through this bit of swamp. I just came down here on my bike, and the two bulls came round behind me, and they just cut round behind me, so I thought I'll head them off. I'd really like them to stay in the mob. So I came back through, but when I came back through, the bike broke through the mud and into the swamp, so I changed up again on the bike. The wheel's going quite fast. I managed to work my way through, and I got up onto this piece of hard ground here. And when the bike came up over here, the back tyres dug into this bit of hard ground, and the front of the bike just came straight up and over, and it threw me straight down onto the ground. I was just starting to think, oh, I need to get out of the way, the bike's coming. And that lifeguard went straight down into the middle of my back. It was like someone putting their hands down on the middle of your spine. And within another split second, the bike was just out in the middle of that swamp. It just rolled it straight back onto its wheels, and it was still sitting there idling. This is my original bike. This is the bike I rolled in the swamp. This Lifeguard is 4 years old. It's still just the way it was when it came. It came over the top of me. It just pulls down, and it can bend down over any part here, and it takes the speed out of that roll as it goes over, and it keeps the bike rolling and gets the bike back on its wheels, and you don't get all this damage on the bike. When a bike rolls over, you'll bend up the handlebars and smash pieces off, whereas this keeps the bike rolling over and then just flicks it back on its wheels. Like, you can train for something to happen, but it's an accident, so you never know how it's going to be until it's happened. Well, the dogs were bringing a mob of steers into the yards over here, so they're just walking them along the fence line. When I say walking, they were actually pushing them because they didn't really want to go in. And they started going round and round at the gate here. And one steer came out of the mob to chase the dog back. And he chased the dog back at me. My bike was sitting over behind them. The dog whipped round behind the bike, and the steer put his head in between the wheel and the mudguard, and he just flipped the bike straight on top of me. And I sort of half-by fell out the side, but I was really still on the bike, and it just happened in a split second, and it was dead flat. I wasn't even moving, I was just sitting there. This held the bike up enough for me to get out from underneath it, and then I just flipped it back on its wheels. So without that, the bike would have been on top of me, there's no question about that. Until you have rolled a bike and have felt what it's like to see a bike coming at you, you won't realise what it's like. And it's just too late. It all happens so fast. You know, I'm quite a big guy, like I can jump on these bikes and sort of manoeuvre them around how I want, but when one of them's coming at rolling at you and you're on the bottom side of it, there's no way you're going to stop it. You know, a helmet is a good start, but it's not going to keep the weight of the bike off the rest of your body. Sure, you know, I wear a helmet, and it has saved my head hitting the ground, so I just wear a helmet, but it won't save you when the bike lands on top of the rest of your body. Like if you were sitting in hospital with a broken back, you just wouldn't care what the roll frame cost if you thought that could have prevented it. Like, you'd sell the farm, you wouldn't care. So just do it. It's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. Like, I don't want to have a bike here without one now, and It just needs to be done. They should come out of the factory with them on, as far as I'm concerned.